Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the January 21st, 2026 Land and Facilities Management Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mrs. Charpentier, Mrs. Bourgeois,
Here.
and Mrs. Babin.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Item 2, Domain Architecture. To receive a report from Ingrid Williams on Hurricane Ida projects. Ms. Williams, you have the floor.
Good evening, everybody. I'll start with a little bit of good news. The re-roof project, the metal panels have been approved. We got that today, so we can finally start closeout process for that. 4, 5, and 10, we have closed out now. It is in closeout. We got the closeout documents last week, going through them, making a record drawing set, so we should have that turned in a couple weeks. And then the campus improvements, the large project, they are still working in building 1, getting some stuff going in admin renovation, building 2, and then the surcharge is in progress. We're gonna drive a test pile, I think in a couple weeks. So it'll sit and we'll see how the surcharge reacts to that, and then hopefully as soon as the time frame is up, we can go right into driving the rest of the piles and get started. So yeah. And we have a change order or a couple of change order requests for the overall campus project, and one is for an addition or support striping in the gym, and then the other one is a credit for a beam we had in the project, but it turns out we didn't need. And so, and then it's like a little wall addition for the cabinets, the millwork, and the sink and the water fountain. So altogether, with the 3 of them, the credit and the increase, it should come out to somewhere around $300. So it'll work itself out.
Thank you so much, Ingrid.
All right, thank you.
Item B, to consider a change order request for the Golden Meadow Middle School demolition and campus improvements project.
Yes, Mr. Chair, the recommended action is to accept the change order request for various items in the sum total of $362.09 for the Golden Meadow Middle School demolition and campus improvement project. The breakout, as Ms. Ingrid said, is $3,938.18 to add paint and stain to the basketball court at Golden Meadow Middle School. $2,453.18 to furnish and install a studded gypsum wall in the art room. And then we have 2 credits that we are taking. One is $2,490.59 to remove some chain link fencing that we no longer will need, and then $3,538.68 in credit to remove furniture and install a structural beam in the art room, replacing it with a wall instead of a beam.
I have a motion from Ms. Bourgeois, second from Ms. Babin. Is there any public comment on this? Any discussion from the board? I do have a question about the paint and stain to the basketball court at Golden Meadow Middle School. Is this, I know we had approved or discussed replacing the court. So
we were replacing the court, and in the price of that was to put court lines.
okay,
You
so
know,
this
the
is for the
point. This
is
will
for
get
the
us
new
the logo.
court, right? Okay.
The inside will have lions, and it'll match what we did at LCO at Bayou Blue.
Okay. So the court replacement is at our cost, but this portion is
The court replacement, Bob is gonna work hard to get us FEMA reimbursed.
Okay, good.
This is what FEMA wouldn't
Would
cover,
not.
right? Which
And that's
is
just for
the little
aesthetics to have
logo and
that.
all the personal
Very
stuff.
good. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah.
Any other comments or discussion from the board? Hearing none. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, Salis O'Brien, to receive a report from Doug Dorsey on the HVAC replacement project at Cutoff Elementary School. Mr. Dorsey, good evening.
Good evening. Cutoff Elementary is complete. We had 2 time extension change orders, no cost time extension change orders on the job. All of the punch list items are complete, test and balance is complete. We've brought in all of the front end controls so the school board could see it at the front office and receive alarms if there's any problems or anything. And project seems to be going well. We've had some warranty items. The contractor has been very responsive, and we recommend closing out this project.
All right, very good news. Thank you very much for that information. Moving on to item 4, NY and Associates to receive a report from Mike Buson on the Hurricane Ida, South Lafourche High School and Central Lafourche High School athletic fields repairs. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. I'm here to give you an update on both South and Central Lafourche. The scheduled date of substantial completion has moved a little bit. It's February 15th now. That is about 30 days later than what the contractor was hoping to get this done in. And it's mostly at South Lafourche. It's because of some delays in their material acquisition for metal panels. So that will still get the concession stand and press box open for their season. So that's what they're shooting. Central Lafourche is pretty much done, except for the metal panels, the same metal panels, and they're supposed to be arriving in.
We were there today.
Yeah,
There's windows inside of there.
Yeah, so this is actually some shots of the press box at South Lafourche, and these are about a week old. They have all the windows installed today, so all of those are actually in. This is just a side view and an interior view. They've got the inside all painted and all the blocks in, and finishes are starting to go in. This is the back view. The main thing that really has to go in there, there's a galvanized steel stair that's going to go up to the second floor, and that's going to be the balcony where all the electrical equipment's located, because it's going to be under the flood zone up there. So that's the main items that have to go in. It's mostly the infrastructure of the electrical and just finishing up. This is Central Lafourche. Like I said, Central is actually completely done. That's what you're seeing there are the bleachers and all that were part of the original project, and then the wood stairs and the structure are for the press box. And that's the new bleachers, and back behind it you see the press box coming up above it. This is all wood because it's not in a flood zone like South Lafourche was. So it had to
That
be.
was the question I asked. Why did we have wood stairs and we finish here, but at South Lafourche we waiting on galvanized steel?
So FEMA approved going back with the original construction that was there before. You see inside it is all finished up inside. They actually put in the counter today, so they'll be able to open this even if both schools are starting practice, but even if they have a game, they can use it right now until they get these. It'll be a problem. And I think there might be 2 more pictures on the next slide. Is there another slide? No, that's it. Okay. That's the report then. Any questions?
Thank you for that update. Everything's looking great, and I'm happy to know that they'll be available for use when the season starts.
They definitely look bigger now than when they first started.
Look, they may not make the opener, because I think South Lafourche's opener is the 16th and maybe Central is the 14th, or I may have those backwards, but both of them are more than excited about
Of
it.
course.
That you know, it's coming to
If there's anything that will hold it up, the galvanizing process of the steel has to go in the shop and be galvanized. That takes some time. There's just no way to make that go quicker. So if anything's short, it'll be that, but they'll still be able to use the volume that they need.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Moving on to item 5, Gosselin, Holloway, and Cortez to receive a report, item A, to receive a report from Justin Cortez on the St. Charles Elementary School Classroom Addition project. Mr. Cortez.
Good evening, board members. We've got some good news on that site. As right before Thanksgiving, we issued substantial on that building. So the school, the admin, and the students were able to move in over the Thanksgiving break. They're occupying and having class, so that's a good thing. Current contractor is currently working on punch list items associated with the building. If you remember, we did approve a change order to extend the contract time, so the contractor is currently working on The modular building has been removed from the site, and that back gravel area is going to be turned into a parking lot for the teachers and staff to greatly expand the parking on site there. And then all the other miscellaneous site work is being completed at this time as well, including subsurface drainage and site fencing, all that good stuff. So that's where we currently are with that project.
Thank you for that update. Moving on to item B, to consider a change order request for St. Charles Elementary School Classroom Addition project.
Yes, the recommended action, Madam Chair, is to accept the change order request in the sum total of $19,946.22 to add door access control hardware to the new St. Charles Classroom Addition project. This includes a $1,248.34 design fee adjustment to the change order request of $18,597.70.
I have a motion by Ms. Babin, second by Ms. Bourgeois. Any comment from the public? Mr. LaFont, you have a
I
question?
don't want to get to the board.
Oh,
I just wanted, don't y'all consider door accesses when you do the original bids and stuff?
So I'll speak to it, right? Because we added it, Jared, Brooke, and myself, right? It's just kind of very generic when it's done. You know, this door, this door, this door, this door, camera here, camera here, camera here. And then once we sat down and the building was coming together and you could see, well, a camera here isn't going to see there. A camera here instead to see there. That's when we came back and a lot more scope and a lot more definition was added to this. So that's where this is coming in. It's on top of, right, in the original scope, they just kind of have a generic, yeah, we know for sure these doors are going to need hardware and card readers, right? But this was after we kind of sat down with IT and with safety and went over.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Henry, and for the clarification. Mr. Sheremy, any other? Ms. Babin?
I'm just gonna say that if it means our kids are safer, the 134834 has changed it, like that's nothing. If it means that it keeps our kids safe and, you know, in the buildings, worth everything.
I agree, I just wanted,
Right, and I was thinking door access,
I'm being handled.
hardware and
Yeah,
stuff.
me too.
I wasn't
Me
thinking
too.
cameras.
I see
That
hardware,
makes
I'm being
more
handled.
sense. Yes, yes.
Door knobs, you know?
And it is all in there, right? Access points, and it's all part of the low voltage. I don't know what the official name of it is, but that drawing is like all, and it's all, yeah. It's all stuff the district handles ourselves also, right? The contractor just does the rough end.
Yes.
And then the district, we use our existing service agreement and contracts with vendors to get all that installed, so we match it.
Your explanation made much more
We're gonna
sense
be
to me.
having this same change order for Andy's project at, Bayou Buff. Once we kind of have a building shell and we can kind of see a little better.
Appreciate the discussion. With no further comments or concerns, let us signify our approval by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 6, Sheremy and Bruce, to receive a report from Daniel Bruce on various repair projects. Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. That's a little late. Haven't seen y'all in a whole year. So we're going to start south to north. South Lafourche High School. They have completed the 900 wing of the second story classroom. They got clearance on December the 18th. Had a little lull with everyone out for the Christmas break. Everybody moved back into the 900 wing over the first few days of school, when they came back to school. And now they've jumped down to the 800 wing to begin the process of doing the HVAC renovations in the 800 wing. That should be about a 45 to 60 day process to do the 800 wing. And then they're going to continue to work with South Lafourche High School to close off areas so they can move in, move kids around. So it'll be like a little puzzle piece to get them in and out of different areas of the school as they continue to work through. They're probably going to need more time. They've already started discussing more time. We just don't know the extent of that yet, because it's not a simple we go do this, we go do this. They gotta get clearance, like they failed clearance testing a couple of times, so that kind of delayed a little bit too. So it's not just a straight line process from A to B. So they're gonna continue to work with South Fuchs High School to get it done, so everything's going fine. So they're about, we've paid them about 27% of the money and about 51% complete with the time we had originally given them. So that's kind of where they are right now with the project. Any questions? Right. Next project is the bus fleet facility in Lockport. So we have a closed-in shell. They've got all the metal studs installed in the admin area. They're starting to do all of the interior liner panels and everything on the inside, the CMU walls in the service areas. They should be getting close to the bus wash system arriving on site in the next 30 days or so to get that installed. We have a tentative completion date of around March 2nd right now. So they're working well on that project. And just like we're going to have a change order request for some additional camera locations and access control locations at this facility too. So we'll get to that in a second. The third project is the Bayou Blue Building 500 demolition project. We got contract signed earlier in the year. The contractor has been given notice to proceed effective this past Monday. He's already erected the perimeter fencing around Building 500, and I think we're waiting on the fire alarm system to get disconnected, and he's going to start tearing that building down over the next 30 to 60 days. We gave him 120 days, I think, but he said it's not going to take him that long to get it done. So we're moving right along with that one as well. I think that's it, right, John? Yeah.
Yes, that is it. But, thank you. Item B, to consider a change order request for the Lafourche Parish School District Transportation Center project.
Yes, the recommended action is to accept the change order request in the sum total of $14,225 to add cameras and access controls to the Lafourche Parish School District Transportation Center project. And this is $13,268 for the change order request with a $957 design fee adjustment. It's the exact same thing. The building's there now. We can kind of see. We're going to incorporate some coverage on CMC with some of the cameras also, and then same thing, adding a camera at CMC shooting back the other way. So this one's worded better.
That says cameras and everything else on the board.
Right. I was with you on that other one.
Do I have a motion? All right, Ms. Bourgeois, second by Ms. Babin. Any public comment? Any board discussion or concerns? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you.
Good evening.
Item 7, Duplantis Design Group. To receive a report from Blaise Dufresne on various repair projects. Good evening, sir.
Good. I know. Okay, so I guess I'll start off with the Central Lafourche and Thibodeau High School fieldhouse roof replacements. We had a substantial completion walkthrough on January 5th, and we granted substantial completion on that day for Lafourche. And they have their 45-day period to complete the remaining punch list items. We went out there for another project and on yesterday, and I think they are currently trying to finish up the built-up roof on Central Lafourche Fieldhouse. The metal roof on both field houses, Thibodeau and Central, are already 100% complete. So that's where we are on that one. Then we have the Central Lafourche Auxiliary Gym repairs that we're working on with NOCANS. We had our OAC meeting yesterday afternoon. The contractor is he's already infilled the where the old translucent panels were, windows, I guess, on the gym. He's filled those in, and he's currently working on installing the finish system on the exterior wall. So he's working on that. And then at the same time, Laperouse, who was on site and had a change order for the other project, was able to repair the roof
at the end of the building there, which we had some issues with. So that's been repaired, and the contractor is probably going to start working on the interior repairs next week. Lastly, the multiple repairs to multiple locations, hurricane repairs to multiple locations. That too, they had a substantial completion walkthrough on January 9th. And was granted substantial completion. So they're currently working on those punch list items, which I think is just flooring in a couple areas, right?
Just flooring at CMC and Graceland Upper.
That's really everything that we have.
All right, thank you for that update.
All right.
Item B, to consider a change order request for the Lafourche Parish School District Multiple Locations Project.
Yes, the recommended action is to accept a change order request in the sum credit of $2,600 for the removal of the ceiling repair from the scope of work at Thibodeau High School ROTC for the Lafourche Parish School District Multiple Location Project.
I have a motion from Ms. Babin and a second from Ms. Bourgeois. Any public comment?
This is scope. The ceiling had some water damage from Ida, but the roof on top has age issues that aren't Ida related. So if we would repair it, it would just get damaged again. So on our main list, we need to repair the roof, and then we will fix the inside.
Okay, appreciate that. Any board discussion? Hearing none, let us vote. Those in favor, signify your vote by saying aye. Aye.
No, I choose to abstain.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Bennett. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C, to consider a change order request for the Central Lafourche High School and Thibodeau High School Fieldhouse Roof Replacement Project.
Yes, the recommended action is to accept a change order request to add 10 days to the Central Lafourche High School and Thibodeau High School Fieldhouse Roof Replacement Project. This is just a day add, no money being added.
Thank you. I have a motion from Ms. Bourgeois, and I will second that motion. Any public comment? Any board comment or discussion? All right. Let's vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain by Ms. Babin. Motion passes. Item 8, Castanos Goodwin Utley Engineers to receive a report from Robert Utley on the Lafourche Parish School District Boiler Replacement Project. Mr. Utley?
Good evening. This, as you said, is for the boiler replacement, and it's for 3 different sites. One is this building that we're in, the school board office. There's also WS LaFog, we're changing the boiler and the pump out there, and LCO Middle School, which is actually the largest boiler set in this 3 schools. And but we're also, it's not just boilers, it's going to be also pumps. We had the pre-construction meeting this past week, so that's all been done. We met at Lafargue and met with the staff there. So it's just to get things on order and get things going. The job should finish mid-July is when it should, about the 14th is the end of contract with this one. Any questions?
None. Thank you very much, Mr. Utley.
Thank you.
Moving on to number 9, Grove, Flores, and Positary. Item A, to receive a report from Andy Positary on various Hurricane Ida repair projects. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I've got 2 projects I'll report on tonight. The first one is going to be the Central Lafourche High School, CM Washington, and Thibodeau High School hurricane projects. This one, recall, is in, as I've reported the past several months, is in significant liquidated damages. We were at a point where a couple of months ago we had told the contractor, look, stop all work. We'll take over. The owner will take over from here. They asked to, want to say begged, but they really wanted to finish the project. And so we got Mr. Pat Amedee's office involved. They have an attorney that they have secured. And so I'm happy to report that we have hired also a third-party coating tester that has some steel on top of the roofs at Central Lafourche and Thibodeau High. We had identified some faulty work there. And so on your behalf, we have a coating expert that will be overseeing their work once they resume. Late last week, Pat's office sent the agreement over to Cotton's attorney. And so I suspect that will be signed any day, and then the contractor will remobilize on site and finish that work. So, knock on wood, things get moving pretty soon. So, that's where we are on that. There is a significant amount of liquidated damages that'll be settled up at the end of the job. Once they do finish the job and it's approved and accepted, we'll do a final accounting of all those days. That they've agreed in principle to pay that already. So, that part's good. Any questions on that project?
Who's paying for the third party overseer?
They are.
Yeah,
They are.
they are.
We found it and suggested to them, and they will be paid.
Yeah.
They will also have a manufacturer rep of the product they use that they wanted, right? And I just felt like from our side, we needed someone independent. So that's where this person came in at.
And the person that John recommended is a coding inspector for DOT.
The
So
Huey
this guy's got a
Long
great
and all
resume.
those pain projects.
The other project I want to report on is the new Bayou Buff Elementary School. All the piles have been driven. Pile caps are being poured right now, and all of the underground utilities that will go into the building are being placed right now. So that's progressing pretty good. We had a credit change order that we executed, a small one last time. There is an issue that came up that I want to at least notify y'all of or brief y'all on tonight. I don't have all the information yet, but the municipal water supply that feeds that site is of an insufficient pressure and flow to properly feed the sprinkler system for that building. And so what that means for this project is that we need to get a water tank on site and a pump. And so the tank's about a 15,000 gallon tank. So it's a big tank that we're going to be putting on site. That will be a change order that's coming at some point once we get the final pricing. We've had several conversations with the water district. They do have a plan in place to upgrade all the water lines that feed that area. Unfortunately, it's on a 5 to 10 year time frame. So certainly we can't wait on that. So the tank and pump is our only option. John and Barry, I think, are trying to track down. We think there's a surplus tank that Ascension Parish may have, and so we're trying to track that down and do that research so that we can minimize the impact of this upcoming change order. But I wanted to at least brief you on what I knew tonight from that. So we'll continue to update you through John and for that point. I know there's an item for a credit change order, but I know that's a separate item. So let's get to that.
All right. Thank you very much. Item B, to consider a change order request for the Bayou Buff Elementary School project.
Yes, the recommended action is to accept a change order request for various items in the sum credit of $77,013 for the VE, which is value engineering, to the Bayou Buff Elementary School project.
Motion by Ms. Bowden, second by Ms. Bourgeois. Any comments from the public?
Want to speak to those?
Yeah, I'll just say there's several items. This is actually only a portion of the credit that we want to offer back. So again, in an attempt to offset the added cost of what this water tank is going to be, there's several items that we've identified that we think we can change materials or change some scope a little bit that won't have a significant impact on the quality of the building and still get a good quality building. So there'll be some other stuff coming later. We're just negotiating those final credit prices too. We also have there are some allowances that are built into our bid package that we'll also use again to offset this water tank issue. So this is just part of the credit coming back tonight.
Yeah. Let me just add, teleconstruction, right? It's up to the contractor to offer these. They don't have to, right? The teleconstruction did bring these forth, right? They're saying there's a couple of ways we could save.
Well, I'm grateful that they are making that
We're gonna
offer
use
to
it all
us.
on the
building
water
that-
tower, but
Yeah, it's nice to work with people. Dr. Garrett, you have a comment?
Yeah, I have a question. So, we kind of backtracked a little bit to the water tank building, kind of what's still talked about here. So, are you anticipating it to be a temporary structure until the water lines are upgraded? Or is it gonna be?
I spoke with Wayne Gutro with the district. They have plans, but they do not have funding. Right, and it is a 5 to 10 year plan, but again, he kept reminding me, he does not have funding.
Right.
Right, and I get that. I guess what I'm trying to get at is at some point, it may not be needed. Obviously, the cost is fronted. I get all that. But an extra structure on a playground or a school site, could present some challenges if it's just there, right?
I wish I had an answer other than to say it's temporarily permanent. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
Five
Now you
years
sound like
could
a
be 10
lawyer.
years.
Are you trying to find some other options with at least accessing the tank? A potential,
And kind of going off of what you said, if we're looking at potentially purchasing a surplus unit from another area, could we in turn offload that to another party at some point?
because at some point
To
it's gonna need some
recoup
maintenance, right?
In 10 years,
Yeah,
it's
so,
still gonna be here.
The goal is to hopefully get it managed so you don't have to maintenance it and you can.
Hear me.
No, and I'm sure Ms. Fontana would be able to surplus sell it once we would get the proper one. Because, yeah, it will become redundant
Yeah.
once we have.
Once the water
pressure there.
district
Right.
gets their funding and their project
No,
in
We just
place.
don't know when that is.
Yeah. We might have a need somewhere else, so it's ours, it's our property at that point.
Any
We are
further-
locating it, I'm sorry, to
Oh, no, I'm
interrupt,
sorry.
but we do have a conceptual location to put it kind of behind the Little Red Schoolhouse. Somewhat hide it, get it out of the way. The kids aren't playing back there anyway, so we did take that, your playground comment into consideration, so, yeah.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. Those in favor signify your approval by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10, Bado Engineers, A, to receive a report from Michael Bado on the Lafourche Parish Stadium repairs project. Good evening.
Good evening. So on the stadium repair project, the notice to proceed was issued on December 1st. The contractor has mobilized at Thibodeau High School. He's removed the bench seating. He started some concrete repairs on the top side. He's actually started a little bit on the bottom side as well. He's mobilized on Central Lafourche and removed the bench seating. And South Lafourche, he will be mobilizing there probably sometime in February. And I believe we have some pictures here. So this is some chipping of the front ledge of those seating panels. They'll be doing typical repairs on those areas. Same, just more chipping here. Here you get a bigger picture of the front ledge of those seating panels and where they've removed the loose and cracked concrete. And here is a column underneath the stadium. Again, just an area of spalled concrete that has been removed and getting prepped for repair. Form work for the front lid repairs on the top side. This is the joints in the apron aisle. They're going to be removing those joints. Those joints were in pretty bad shape, so we'll be replacing and patching those. And the next picture. This is a mock-up of the coating that's going to go on top of the stadium. It'll be the lighter color. But this is mock-up they did to show a few things here.
So just to clarify, the coating's going to go over the entire stadium surface for a uniform appearance.
Yes.
Yes, including the front. I've got the white. That will all be that gray, light gray coating.
I do have a question. With the timing on this, what is the anticipated impact on track seasons for the use of our stadium?
One side will be out right now.
Right.
One at a
So
time.
this is gonna go on for a while, but we've requested that the contractor only work on one side at each school at a time. So he's gonna finish everything. The school will always have access to either the home or the visitor side.
Because with it happening now and then South Lafourche commencing in February, that's right in the middle of track season.
It's going to impact our operations. We're minimizing that impact to the extent that we can. We're still gonna be able to have track meets, but you may have, parents sitting where you would have had the opposing teams and all the other teams sitting on the other side, they're gonna be scattered about outside the track because the stadium won't be able to be. I walked it today, you can't. This is not gonna be a place where you can put people.
The attendance at track meets is such that typically you
It should
can
be.
only use one side of the stadium, and it should be sufficient.
It should be okay.
And like you said, if we need the teams to remain on the track,
The kids are probably going to stay there.
surrounding area, then that's fine. Okay. Any other comments? Before we move on? Thank you so much for that information.
Thanks for the pictures.
Next, item 11, All South Engineers. Item A, to receive a report from Bob Bernard on the Hurricane Ida recovery status. Good evening, Mr. Bernard.
Good evening. Close that report, please, since I don't have a copy. It's even shorter than that. There's item 1 and 2. There's really no additional comments to make from the last time we spoke. So FEMA's still waiting on them at the holiday break, so they're slow. They're even slower during the holidays. That was back up later. What's the press boxes we covered? So nothing to speak on that one. ROTC, I don't see that one on it. Yes, it is. Okay, 1B. So ROTC is moving along, which is good news. It has moved from CRC and is in FEMA management review to check for scope, size, and function. Make sure we're not doing something different than what was there before. So we're anticipating approval on that. Once that happens, it'll go to EHP for review. And we're anticipating, I think I mentioned before, springtime, roughly, date that will get approval. From that point, Daniel Bruce can start design and then put out for bid, maybe mid-summer is what we're shooting for. So that's the time frame for that one. That covers the upcoming bids, obviously, with ROTC. The Central Lafourche High School maps and roof repairs is on hold because of the issues with Cotton. They need to finish their work because it interacts with that upper roof. So we can't start the mansard until they're finished. Okay? And then the schedule's been updated. Again, projects are coming off and everything in purple is what's remaining and blue is to be determined. Okay? Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to item 12, new business. A, to receive a report from lead accountant Shasta Chasson with reference to ongoing project budgets. Ms. Chasson?
Good evening. For the bond 2017 construction fund, we have remaining funds of $2,012,792 with all board approval projects. And for the 2021 construction bond, we have remaining funds of $19,730,106 with all board approved projects. And then for the 2025 construction bond, we have funds remaining of $17,310,384 with all board approved projects.
Thank you very much.
I like this form so much better.
You do? Yes.
Easier
Easier
to
and
read.
correct.
Thank you.
Item B, to consider an amendment to the professional service contract between Lafourche Parish School Board and All South Consulting Engineers.
Recommended action is to accept amendment of the fee cap of the All South Consulting Engineers LLC contract, increasing the contract fee cap by $826,594.
I have a motion from Ms. Bourgeois,
No.
Yeah.
second from Ms. Babin. Any public comment? Any discussion from the table?
And I think it's worth talking about a contract of this size. We've got Mr. Smith and their team has been instrumental in securing thus far 74 million with more money obligated. But, you know, to Mr. Smith's credit, he was very honest with me in articulating, you know, at the beginning of this, requested of Mr. Benora and Mr. Smith, hey, can you guarantee that your costs are not going to exceed what are FEMA eligible costs? And they both kind of chuckled and said, you know, we're going to try our darndest to do that. And we're approaching a number that will not allow that to happen. And so with full disclosure, we talked about how you have to have somebody on your team to help manage these FEMA claims, and you can claim under category Z, if I'm not mistaken, these reimbursements. And we're likely now entering a number that won't be reimbursable because it's going to exceed the 5%. But their services have been instrumental in getting us the millions of dollars that we've gotten already. I heard, as well as Mr. Smith heard, the parish presidents of both Terrebonne and Lafourche talk about how much their FEMA costs were and what they've been reimbursed. And we have a higher percentage of reimbursements than those two agencies that are also represented, at least in Fort Powell South as well. We're doing well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But this number is also about to tail off, as you can see. The report that we received from Bob is getting smaller. The costs are going to be going down. So I don't think you're going to continue to see this number grow at the rate that it has grown. But it is something we have to keep a close eye on. And I trust Mr. Smith to responsibly off-ramp services as they're not needed. And I'll let you go ahead and speak to it.
Look, all I would add to that, what the superintendent just reflected to the board is, again, his direction to us was to ensure that these program management and grant management costs are reimbursed to the district. And so we have striven to do that. The amendment is required for two reasons. First, it's required because we've actually reached the cap in our previous contract, and so we can't continue to work for you without increasing the cap. I mean, that's basic contractual stuff. But the other aspect of it is the value of the program is increased. This fee is related to the value of the program. It's benchmarked on that. It's a percentage of that. And as we've gotten these projects completed, and even the projects that are still in some kind of discussion, which primarily Golden Meadow Middle, Bayou Buff, those are a couple of projects that are, $6-8 million a piece, and we're still negotiating with FEMA about the value of those. So that's going to make the value of the program go up when we finalize that, hopefully. And then we actually have a couple other big ticket ones that are in negotiations. The HVAC at South Lafourche that is not eligible currently. We are fighting hard to make that happen, but I mean, if that gets approved, that increases the overall value of the program, and therefore it costs us more money to deal with it. And quite frankly, we're dealing with it right now without that cap being reflected because it's not approved yet, if that makes sense to you. The other thing I'll throw on the table for the board's understanding is FEMA eligible costs are different than the costs you incur, right? And I heard Ms. Email earlier give you a report that I think there was 160 million related to item, and the FEMA program is currently at about 117 million the way FEMA looks at it. That delta is some things they don't think are hurricane related, but you classify them as. Another thing is you got 20 million in insurance, right, early on. FEMA excludes that. But we know you guys took your insurance money and spent it repairing your system, but for the purpose of this whole discussion, it's excluded from the program in the grand scheme of things. So that's kind of out of it. That's a nuance that a lot of people forget about. Right? But all that being said, glad we were able to do the work for you. Nothing, Bob and I were just joking in the back. Nothing shows progress. And we look at Bob's schedule and they only got 2 or 3 projects left. That's a good sign. Not that good for us, right? But it's good for the district. Okay? That's how you measure success. So with that, I'm going to be able to answer any questions you may have, Madam Chair or your board member.
No, it just was a big number. It takes you a while to look at it, but
It is.
Bob has worked hard for
It is a big
us,
number.
so we appreciate it. And so has your firm.
It is a big number, and I definitely understand and recognize the need for it because you have done really a lot on our behalf to ensure that we can receive reimbursement for as much as possible. And I know of a public entity that I'm aware of that is not collecting, from FEMA, and it's a shame. So I appreciate your efforts.
And to Ms. Bourgeois' point, and to expand on that, I will say, I know Mr. Smith is acutely aware of this. Bob has become the face of a lot of repair work. But their real value, if I'm being honest, is the folks you don't see that are doing all the grant management stuff behind the scenes, that are making all of this stuff, the money happen. The amount of work and paperwork that goes into that nightmare, it's a special person that does that. They've got a great team.
So I think we have reimbursed about 70, plus or minus so far. Yes, I know in Mom notes it's about 70 so far. So Bob spends the 70 and somebody else gets you the money back. And I'll tell you, I got a Wally Brook. The dang press box is under construction this time. Jesus Christ.
You got it done.
I cannot believe I'm sitting, Michael, I can't believe I told my, I can't believe I'm seeing those things being built. Jeez hams.
But that's one of the things that you guys went back and fought for because they wanted to give us, FEMA has all of these exorbitant requirements for something being sturdy and windproof and all this stuff, yet they wanted to put a little temporary metal building in its place. How did that make sense? And you went back and said that wasn't okay, and so that,
The press box discussing microcosm of what you do on a larger scale for things like solid food, your body buffer. But I mean, I'm so glad to see those. Thank God.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, and everybody, and also.
So yeah, I'd like to just comment that the efficiency at which we started seeing progress also is a big thing, because I know the diocese in the area had plenty of projects, some of which that are just getting started, that had been, my mom's church has been out, they've been in an auxiliary hall having mass, and and they're just getting to it. So whether it was a reimbursement, but again, I appreciate your efficiency at getting projects, getting us money, at least some projects known, and we could get to fix it quickly. Appreciate you.
We might even make Bob an honorary board member when all this is over.
Other comments or concerns? Let's take this to a vote. All those in favor signify your approval by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Motion carries. Item C, to consider a request to hire Gosson Holloway Cortez for the Virtual Academy of Lafourche Thibodeau renovations project.
Yes, recommended action is to accept the request to hire Gosson Holloway Cortez for the Virtual Academy of Lafourche Thibodeau renovation project with an OPC, which is opinion of probable cost of $1,270,548.05.
Motion by Ms. Babin, second by Ms. Bourgeois, with a look of concern with the dollar amount. Any discussion from the audience?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
But we can certainly go to public comment after. I do want to kind of give everybody an update on what we're talking about here. This is the old BCA site right across the street here. So inside this building, we have asbestos flooring, we have aging windows, we have aging drop ceiling, we have a whole new roof that needs to get put over the cafeteria. It needs a lot of upgrades. You are, as a board, faced with a decision. Do you demo the building at a cost of probably $300,000 to $400,000, or do you renovate the building and then lease it? We already have a verbal agreement with the Virtual Academy of Lafourche that they would like to lease the building and keep the old BCA school in working order. That lease value would bring in revenue, real revenue to the school district in excess of $200,000 per year. And so while you are going to be spending $1.2 million to renovate it, in 4 or 5 years, you will have realized return on investment that would pay for these renovations, and then every year thereafter, you're actually in the black, as it were. So it is my recommendation to spend the money to rehabilitate the site, one, to keep it a school building that's in working order, and two, to enter into a contract long-term with the Virtual Academy of Lafourche to lease that property. So I think it's a better use of board money to keep the building in working order and to keep it, being used by one of our type 1 charters than to demo the building at a frankly expensive number. You know, I didn't even get a number from Justin on what demoing it would cost, but if demoing a tin can behind BioBlue was over $100,000, I imagine this one would have been at least $300,000 or $400,000. Those are my comments.
Thank you for that explanation.
Explaining that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'll open it up for any public comment. Any board discussion? Hearing none, let us vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. I'm sorry, Ms. Babbitt.
I just want to add something before we adjourn the meeting. I want to say thank you to the organization in Thibodeau. I think I'm correct by saying it's Mr. Chaz James and the Thibodeau Alumni Weekend. They plan these alumni weekends and they did a fundraiser this past year and they donated the new sign on Thibodeau High School's building and it looks amazing. And it was very nice of them to do so. I saw it today when I passed. It's beautiful. The building is beautiful, and now to have it, the signage just kind of adds to it. So I just wanted to take a second and make sure to thank them for
that
doing
acknowledgement.
that.
I'm gonna have to ride by the school to see that new sign. Sounds beautiful. Thank you. Without any further business before the committee, this meeting is adjourned.